Hello, everyone. I am really excited to be here with everyone today. We are going to make this as interactive as we need. So I encourage you to put any questions that you have or anything that you might need more clarification on in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and get started right on time. I want to respect everyone's time and energy today. I know that we are talking about a really hard topic. This stuff isn't easy. So you are some of the brave few who are spending your afternoon with me talking about money mindset and the strategies that you need to use in order to finally overcome your money blocks, your money mindset. I am dedicated to helping entrepreneurs be able to obtain long-term financial success in their businesses. And what I've found is that we need to unlock our money mindset. So first of all, who am I? I think I know most of you. My name is Danielle Hayden, seasoned entrepreneur, author of the Profit Planner book series, podcast host of Entrepreneur Money Stories, and most importantly, the CEO of Kickstart Accounting, Inc. It is my life's mission to help entrepreneurs understand their numbers so that you can create a healthy, sustainable, and profitable business so that we can have a bigger impact on entrepreneurship. We can have a bigger impact on the economy and the society. So thank you for trusting me to be your guide through this money mindset journey. I really appreciate you being here and trusting me to be your guide. All right. This is the most important question. Have you ever wondered why you ignore your money team's emails? This is a really important one. What we have found in the last 9 years that I have been running and operating Kickstart Accounting is that even though clients have organized and clean bookkeeping, they have financial statements that are being sent to them, they have a beautiful snapshot being sent to their email every single month or quarter, that they still ignore the money team's emails. And so have you ever considered why you're ignoring your money team? Have you considered why you might be putting off taxes until the very last minute, filing an extension, and then still waiting until the last minute? There is a reason behind this. I promise you there is a reason. Have you heard yourself say, I am not a numbers person? How about I am a really great practitioner? I'm great at my craft. I'm good at what I do, but I'm just not a CEO. I'm not good with numbers. My parents weren't good with money, and now I'm not good with money. I am a creative, and creatives aren't good with money. How about my business isn't big enough? I don't need to know my numbers. Or I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I just want you to think about some of the things that you've told yourself about your money mindset and your identity around money and the numbers within your business. Just think about that for a second. How many of you needed to hire somebody but felt anxious and scared? You wanted to raise your prices but didn't think you should. What if your clients leave? How many of you wanted to pay yourself, but didn't want to pull the funds from your business because what if it doesn't come back? And then how many of you can't stop spending, right? Can't determine what to cancel, what to stop, and when, right? We're on this emotional spending roller coaster. I have heard all of it from our clients, and it has become part of our mission here at Kickstart Accounting is to help our clients understand why we're telling ourselves these stories so that we can start to overcome them. We want you to be able to use your financial statements. We want you to be able to look at the snapshot. We want you to start to feel a sense of ease around your money and the business decisions around your money. And the best way we can do that is to start to think about our money mindset. Now, you are not alone. I have some really interesting statistics for you that I think are funny to share. The concept isn't funny, but this is funny. So Fidelity had did a study and they found that 1 in 4 people would rather spend an hour with their ex than create a budget. So if you've been putting off your budget, you're not alone. 1 in 3 people would rather deep clean a bathroom than check their bank accounts. I just chuckled when I read this. Is this a public bathroom or a bathroom at your house? All right. And then lastly, 1 in 4 would rather run a 5K on Thanksgiving morning than cut back on spending. This one, again, makes me laugh. We do a 5K every Thanksgiving morning. And I said, okay, this is why you're a numbers person, Danielle. But the point is that you are not alone. I think so many of us tell ourselves a story. I'm the only one who doesn't get it. Everyone else is out there. They have control of their money mindset. They have control over their business. They have control over their financial decisions. They are empowered to hire and they are confident around their spending. And that is not the case. You are not alone. So I want to ask you a question. On a scale 1 through 10, how often are you feeling anxious about your business financials? So 1 is not anxious at all, and 10 is very anxious. How often are you feeling anxious about your business finances? On a scale 1 through 10, do you get nervous when you spend money on your business? Any type of money. Like every time you have to run payroll, you have an annual subscription that's about to come out, you're signing up for a new investment. Do you get nervous when you are about to spend money on your business? And how do you feel when you know you are overspending? How anxious does it make you feel when you know that you are overspending in your business? And then how would it feel if you understood why you felt that way and you had tools to be able to overcome this? How would that make you feel? Again, let's rate this 1 through 10. How would it feel if you were able to conquer these fears? Now, I want everyone on this call and anyone who's watching the recording, I want you to commit right now to becoming a confident, badass money manager, right? Like I want you to commit right here to finally understanding your money mindset, working through that so that you can start to feel less anxious around your business finances, so that you don't get nervous when it's time to reinvest and spend money on your business. That you can recognize when you're overspending, recognize that that's an emotional roller coaster and choose when to step off the emotional spending roller coaster. All right. So I want all of us to commit right now. Now, if you hang on till the end of the webinar, I have some very specific tools and strategies for you to be able to implement, but we're going to go through some of them together today. And then I'll give you some additional tools and strategies to be able to take with you. All right. So I don't know about you, but I love a good quiz. I am always the one clicking online to take the quiz and find out which type am I. And so I want us to go through today, what is your money mindset type? Which do you relate to the most? And if you're not here today, we'll also send you this as a follow-up as well. All right. So our first type is our perfectionist. Our perfectionist, I have a special place for our perfectionist in my heart because the perfectionist is always trying to do things perfectly. They are really actually paralyzed by the amount of information that's available. So they tend to ignore the big picture because they are very consumed with the details. They want to make sure that every penny in their business is accounted for and going to the right place, making the best, perfect decision every single time. So every time they go to spend money, they're over analysis. They are researching it. They want to have all of the details before they spend money, and they want to know that everything is in its perfect bucket. But our perfectionists also have a really hard time pulling themselves back to see the bigger picture, to allow themselves to invest in their business and to be able to learn from their failures, right? Because our perfectionist is trying to do everything right. And so they really struggle with letting themselves fail and how to get through those failures. Now, I won't make you put it in the chat and share with us. I know that this is really private and it can be really difficult to share. And so there's pieces of that kind of that tugged on your heart. Maybe just jot that down, right? We'll go through the other three before you choose. Okay. Then we have our free spender. Our free spenders are usually our quick starts, right? They see the next big opportunity and they jump in. These are also the people who have the shiny object syndrome. So they are seeing the next thing that they should sign up for, the next investment that they're trying to make in their business, the next new hire. These individuals often see their competitors doing something, somebody in another industry who's launching a new tool or a new strategy, and they want to try everything. And so they are free spenders. They're actually not really giving much of a consideration to their financials or the data before they spend the money. So they're not opening up the snapshot because they're afraid of what it says, because that snapshot, their financial statements, might tell them that they have to say no to the next trip. It might say no, that they are not able to hire the next new team member because they need to spend some time looking at their current spending. So each of these types, they might still avoid their financial statements, but for a different reason, right? The perfectionist wants to make sure that everything is in the perfect category. Everything is analyzed to the T. That can be really stressful, right? And our free spenders are reminded how much they spent last month. And it might tell them that they can't spend money this month. Imagine how much anxiety that might make you feel if you're a free spender. All right, next we have our keepers. Our keepers are trying to hold on to every penny that they have. And I'm seeing more keepers post-COVID than ever before. I think there is some post-traumatic syndrome that has happened for entrepreneurs, especially in industries that were really hit by the pandemic. So our keepers are really reluctant to part with any of their cash. They're afraid to hire another team member. They're afraid to pay themselves. They're afraid that if they sign up for an annual subscription rather than a monthly, that once all of that money is gone, once the money has been released from their business checking account, that they'll never get it back, right? The keepers are afraid that it's never going to come back. And so they don't pay themselves enough. They're afraid to look at the data. They're afraid to look at their numbers, their financial statements, because they're afraid of what it might tell them that they don't have enough because they want to keep every single cent that they have. Now, our balance seeker is somebody who's trying to find a balance. Our balance seeker is trying to say, I don't need to know where every single penny is. They know and understand that they're not the best person to handle their bookkeeping and to manage where everything is going. Our balance seeker is willing to take on new investments, right? They're willing to spend money with intention. And then they'll pause at the end of the month and at the end of the quarter to say, is this working or is this not working, right? I'm willing to spend the money. I'm willing to try this. I'm willing to fail. But then I need to pause to make sure that I'm doing the right thing, right? I'm able to release the funds from my business checking account. I'm able to invest. I'm able to pay myself. I'm able to hire on new team members. But our balance seekers are willing to take the pause. They're willing to get on the phone with their money team and say, show me what's happening. Because I know that I can't control every single penny, but I can invest and I can make sure that I have enough saved for an emergency, right? So we're kind of balancing all of these, right? The balance seeker is trying to keep in touch with their keeper side, having enough money tucked away for a rainy day or 3 months worth of operating expenses. But they're able to tap into their free spender to say, this is an investment that I want to move forward with. There's an opportunity in my business and I don't want to miss out. I don't want to miss that opportunity. So which money type are you? When you think through all that, when you heard all of that, which money type are you? Once you kind of have that in the back of your mind, and you might be kind of like the balance seeker where you're pulling from a little bit from each area, but I want you to kind of jot that down so that you know as we work through the rest of this together. In our money mindset mastery framework, we have a 4-step process. And so I want to walk you through the 4-step process. The first one is to identify the major events in our lives. Every single one of us has a money story. There's not a single person here who doesn't come into entrepreneurship with a money story. And our money story was cultivated from our past. It's our experiences in our family, our grandparents, aunts and uncles, and how they approached work and money. It's the economy, the major life events that we saw in our lives and the effects that it had on people. It might be a relationship that we had that went well or didn't go well, right? There's major life events that have created our money mindset story. And in order for us to be able to move forward, we have to look backwards. So we have to look back at our major events in order for us to learn, process, and heal, right? We need to heal from those situations that have happened in the past. We need to understand them. The day you started your business, you didn't let go of all that. Like, it didn't just disappear. You pulled it all with you. You started your business and you carried all of your money mindset stories with you. So once we've learned from those stories, those events, once we've had time to process it and heal, we're able to use the new skills to recreate our story, right? Ultimately, we want to rewrite our money stories. We have to rewrite our money story so that we can go in the direction that we want to go in our business. I want to share a little bit about my money story, because I think that this will help you be able to tap into some of the events in your past and how they've affected your entrepreneurship journey. So I'll never forget, I was young. I was probably around 8 at the time. And I was sitting on this landing at my parents' house. They had this staircase, and the staircase was in the hallway. And this was the best spot in the house. Seriously. I could hear the kitchen. I could hear what was going on in the kitchen. So I could really easily eavesdrop. My mom had no idea because she couldn't actually see us up on the staircase. So perfect eavesdropping spot. And then there was this giant window in the hallway. And so I could feel the sunshine coming in through this hall window. And I would lay there while I'm eavesdropping, being warmed by the sun. And it was my favorite spot, whether life was good or things were bad. That was my favorite spot in the house. But in this particular day, I was eavesdropping on my mom crying. Now, my heart was breaking for my mom. It made me sick to my stomach. I actually remember that day, I thought I was going to throw up because she was so upset. I could hear her. She didn't know I was listening, so I couldn't go help her. I couldn't console her. My palms were sweaty and I felt sick to my stomach. And I just sat there and listened. And as I was eavesdropping on her conversation, I was listening to her talk to my aunt, her sister. And she was talking about how she was angry and she was sad and she was scared. But see, my dad had just lost his job earlier that day. And she was explaining to my aunt how they love to spend money on travel. And they really didn't prioritize saving. And so they were in a difficult spot. It's still difficult for me to share this because I feel for them. They were at a time in their lives where they were trying to care for us. It was my brother and I have a younger brother who's 3 years younger than me. And they were trying to provide us with a life. And we lived in a beautiful house and went on these amazing trips. And she was so upset about not having prioritized saving. And she did not prioritize having that cushion. Now, I want to fast forward to, I had started my business. I had started Kickstart Accounting, and we were, about 2 years old at the time. And I remember this pivotal moment where I had to make a decision. Especially in a service-based business, you're you always have two options. Are you going to be the sole provider working with every single client and really be limited to the amount of time, energy, and space that you have in order to work with the amount of clients that you have time for? Or are you going to build a team and an agency and a system to be able to serve more people? Now, I knew in my heart that I had a gift. I understood accounting. And I know that that's not a gift everyone has. My accounting instructor in college said to me over and over, he would walk around and he'd point you in the face. He goes, "Do you get it?" And I had no idea what he meant at the time, because he would walk around and said, "If you get it, you need to be an accountant." And what he meant was that not everybody gets it. And because I got it and I understood what it meant for businesses to be able to use numbers and to be able to understand accounting, I knew that my mission was bigger than the few specific clients that I could help. And so I wanted to start building out my team. In order for me to build my team, I, of course, needed more clients, right? It's this vicious circle that so many new entrepreneurs go through. I need more clients in order to be able to hire more people, and I need them about steady pace for them to grow consistently together. How many of you are like, "Can I get the tidal wave together?" So I had a decision that was I going to continue to be safe, secure, and save every penny I had? Or was I willing to spend and invest and take a leap of faith that I had something to bring to the world and that we could serve more people? And I share this because I had to rewrite my money story in that moment. I had to decide if I could overcome my mom's tragedy, like her trauma. Could I overcome hearing that and seeing what they went through? There was an entire economic situation that happened during this time as well. And so could I overcome what happened to the economy? Was I willing to part with my hard-earned cash in order to be able to take a leap of faith on what could be in the future? So you can see how going backwards can help us move forward. So I have a journal exercise for us to all do together. Now I'm going to put this link in the chat as well. Now, this journal exercise is one of my favorite things to do, because in order for us to be able to start to use some tools to move forward, we have to go backwards, right? So starting at that first step of the framework is to go backwards in order to move forward. Now, the first step of this journal exercise is not what you think. Now, I'm going to ask everyone to take 3 deep breaths together. And there's a few reasons to do this. Now, you saw on my introductory slide, I am a yoga instructor, but it really has nothing to do with that. I believe that there's so much anxiety around money and finances that if we can learn to calm our nervous system, that this will start to, over time, not be so difficult for us to look at, be willing to approach, right? So if we can just calm our nervous system. So if you take a deep breath in and then hold, and then take a deep breath out and just hold on empty. We'll take 2 more. Take a deep breath in and hold and exhale and hold. And then 1 more. Take a deep breath in and sigh it all out. Like, see, you just regulate your nervous system, because what I just shared with you was a really heavy story. I shared a heavy story with you. So you are in fight or fight mode, right? We're intense right now. So you have to take these few deep breaths to let it all go. Now, in this journal exercise, there is some space for you to write out one significant event around money. Now, I want you to jot down any notes or memories that come to mind. This could be specifics, like what exactly happened, right? For me, it was that my dad lost his job. Now, I don't think if I just thought about, oh, my dad lost his job, like that doesn't really tell me much, right? It was, how did that make me feel? Like, what did that cause? How did I react? How did the people around me react? What was the reaction? What was the tone around me. This can include family members, maybe a spouse, a significant other, your children, what's going on in the economy. So when you start to think about now, I don't want you to go every single event around money right now. I want you just to pull out one single event and think about how you reacted and how the other people around you reacted. Now, I don't want to use too much live time together to go through the journal exercise. So let's just take about a minute or so to write out this event around money and how it made you feel. And then I really encourage you to come back to this because this is going to help you start to see why you are treating money the way that you are today. Because I could still make decisions from that place of scarcity. I could still be a keeper. And some days I really have to make an effort to find a balance, right? I have to really coach myself when we're going to make an investment, when we're hiring, when we're going through big changes at our firm. I really have to coach myself and remind myself that it's okay that we're able to do that. But it's only because I know that I need that coaching that I'm able to give myself that coaching. If I didn't know that I needed that, I wouldn't know what to say. I would just hold on to all of my money and not understand why I was holding on to it. Once you've actually jotted this information out, I want you to spend some time reviewing and reflecting on what you've written. Now, if you follow us on social media, which I suggest you do, go to Instagram, follow us at Kickstart Accounting. I've talked a lot about clarity breaks because a lot of our clients will get on our monthly calls or quarterly calls with us and we'll walk through their numbers together and they'll ask like, okay, so what does it all mean? Like, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? And we can help clients see the data. We can help guide them through the numbers, but we can't tell you what it means to you. Like, what does that mean to you? So for me, it's really important for me to see how much cash do we have in the bank? Do we have enough in savings? Because I know that that's going to be something that makes me feel better, right? So that's a number that's really important to me. It's really important for me to look at the amount of money that we're spending in new investments and quickly asking myself, is this working or not working so that I can stop doing anything that's not working, right? I want to act really quickly. I'm not going to let 3, 6, 9 months go by, a year before I file taxes again, to allow money to flow out of my business before I realize what's going on. But the reason I'm able to do that is because I've journaled through my significant event. I understand how it makes me feel. And I take regular clarity breaks to walk through what do my financials mean to me. And so I want you to start incorporating the act of reviewing and reflecting. The act of once you've looked at your financial statements, once you've looked at your snapshot, to take a break, take a walk, go outside and see what resonates for you. What thoughts come to mind? What feelings do you have? Because this is going to give you the insight that you need in order to decide what actions you need to take next. So this review and reflect, it is so important in this specific journal exercise, but it's so important every single time you receive your financial statements that you take that clarity break, that you review and you reflect and you decide what that information means to you and what you need to take action on. What actions do you want to double down on? If you have any questions or want clarification on anything, do not hesitate to put it in the chat. All right. This is another one of my favorites. Do you remember hearing this growing up? If you work hard, you get good grades, and you secure a good job, you'll be happy. That's the recipe to happiness. How many of you heard that growing up? Now, I'll never forget my son. He has always struggled in school. And I think he's going to be a really awesome entrepreneur one day. I tell him every day he's going to be an amazing entrepreneur. However, I heard my parents talking about that he needed to work really hard and that he had to get good grades and that was the only way he was going to get a good job. And he was so afraid that if he couldn't get good grades, And if he wasn't able to secure a future for himself where he made as much money as possible, that he was going to be happy and he wasn't going to be loved. He came and asked me if I would still love him if he didn't get good grades. So you can see why when we receive our financial statements, this is pulling at something deep rooted. We received a report card every quarter for a long time. So every quarter we got a report card saying, did you work hard enough? Did you get a good grade? If so, you get to move on. You get to keep going. If not, you're being held back. And so I think that we have a report card effect when we look at our financial statements, that our financial statements and our snapshots have turned into, did you get a good grade or not? Did you pass the class? Are you good enough to keep moving forward? And so I want to encourage you right here that you can be happy with progress. You don't have to be a complete numbers person today. You can be happy with where you're at now. Your financial statements do not have to be your report card. They do not have to tell you whether or not you're good enough, whether or not your business is worthy enough of your passion, of your love. All right. Your financial statements do not have to be your report card. So as I was thinking about the report card effect and whether or not money can buy happiness, it led me on a research rabbit hole. And I went to look and see, can money really buy happiness? And this is really important because what we hear from clients say to us all the time is, I want to take home more money. I want to increase my salary. I want to take more owner's draws. I want more money. I want more profits and I want more. I started to pause and asked, well, do we need more, right? Like, will more really make us happy? So there was a Princeton University study that was done, and they found that that money can buy happiness up to a certain point, and it's about $75,000 a year. So the lower a person's annual income falls below that benchmark, the unhappier he or she might feel. But no matter how much more they make over $75,000, they don't report any greater degree of happiness. So it turns out that maybe improving our money mindset is the way money can buy happiness. Now, how many of you have done a personal budget? Like, how many of you actually know how much you're spending personally on your family? And do you know how much your family needs you to take home from your business in order to survive? Like, just survive, like just pay the bills, right? Keep the electricity on, gas going, mortgage paid. Like, how much is the bare minimum your family needs for you to bring home from your business to survive? And then how much more money does your family need for your business to bring home in order to really thrive? So go on the vacation that you've been saving for, maybe move into the home that you're looking at, make the home renovation project that you've been dreaming of, right? Like, what is that amount? Now, every year we're not renovating our home, right? It's probably a one-time activity. So how much do you need this year in order to really thrive? And will that bring you more happiness? Will spending more money bring you more happiness? What we see a lot with clients throughout the years is that if we are a free spender in our business, right? So going back to the money type, if you are a free spender, then you're probably a free spender personally too. Do you feel seen? If you are a keeper, then you're probably a keeper in your personal life as well. If you're a perfectionist, you're trying to find a perfectionist strategy for both your business and your personal life. And so it's so important for you to know and understand how much money your family needs, and then to see how much your family is spending on a regular basis, because we don't always need more. We need to start to think about our money mindset, understand where our money mindset came from, and how we can use our business to serve our families today. I want to introduce you to Christine. So Christine is a very long-time client. I've been working with Christine for a really, really long time. Christine is an event planner, and she is based in New York. Now, Christine always felt anxious around money. and her decisions around money. So she was great. She would get on the phone with us every month. She received her financial statements. She would look at them with us, but she still felt anxious. At this time, she had just had her daughter. And so she was a new mom, and her husband was miserable at work, absolutely miserable. And so she really wanted to make space in her business where her husband can come and work with her so that he was not miserable and they could both have the time and energy with their daughter and have that space together. But he held the health insurance. So they needed to understand how much money they needed in order to cover health insurance and their personal finances all together, right? Because he wouldn't have his income. The problem that Christine had was that she would do the Instagram doom scrolling. So she would pull up Instagram and she would find herself looking at her competitors and seeing that they opened up a new headquarters, that they were hiring again, that they had these beautiful uniforms and they were traveling and going on a leadership team retreat. And she had no idea what this woman's situation was, right? She had no idea if they were profitable, if she was bleeding money, if she had no idea what her financial situation is or what her money mindset was. But she felt a need to keep up with this competitor. They had started their businesses at the same time, and she felt left behind. So it wasn't until Christine and I started working on her money mindset that she was finally able to let it go. She was finally able to read her financial snapshots, to really see them as a CEO update, and to start making the decisions that she needed to make in order to pay herself, in order to hire her husband, to get the health insurance that they needed, and to stop the comparison trap. So Christine, as she worked through her money mindset and this money mindset mastery framework, she was able to finally see the numbers for what they were. Finally able to see her emotions for what they were. They were emotions, feelings, and understand how to navigate them together. So imagine, I want you to take a step back and imagine if just a few weeks from now, if you felt less anxious over your bookkeeping, you stopped hiding from the IRS, you started opening the important emails from your team. Again, I see you. We know if you open them or not. No more whiplash from emotional spending. I want you to save the bruises, okay? You start feeling like you can make decisions like a boss, empowered decisions, not based on emotions and comparison. You start paying yourself the salary you deserve because as a keeper, you realize that you deserve to pay yourself. You start finding balance and you start feeling confident about the financial decisions that you're making. How would that make you feel? As you connect with your future self, I want you to really feel the success and the gratitude that you have for creating that future. Okay, so just take a moment. If you felt that way, how grateful would you be for creating that future for yourself? So one question for you. Can you commit to being this version of yourself? Are you willing to commit right now? So I would like to invite you to our Money Mindset Mastery course. I am going to put a code in the chat. As I promised, there was a special surprise for you if you hung on to the end. We are offering anybody who came to the webinar today 20% off of the Money Mindset Mastery program. This course has been a passion project would be an understatement. I showed you Christine's story, and we have been so committed to ensuring that you as a client can feel like you are a numbers person, that you have permission to pay yourself consistently, and that you can step off the emotional spending roller coaster. I want you to overcome your fear of looking at your numbers. Now, if you decide that the Money Mindset Mastery program is not for you, I want you to start with that journal exercise. You have access to the journal, and I want you to spend some time, go back through that, take a few deep breaths, go through that life event, and then really review and reflect how that made you feel. You can talk to your money team on your next call. We are all here for you. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear about your challenges and your struggles. So please share that with us on your next call with your money team, the Kickstart Accounting Inc. money team. If you share it with your CPA and your tax accountant, I'm not sure they might be as open to it, but we want to hear it from you. So please do that journal exercise, review and reflect and see what that means for you and how we can use that to help you be able to finally overcome your fear around your financials and your snapshot. So thank you everyone for being here today. Please stay in touch. You can catch our Entrepreneur Money Stories on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. This is our free resource for you guys. I will continue to show up week after week for you guys. These are all the questions that we get from you, our amazing clients. So if you have any questions, please shoot us an email at support@kickstartaccountinginc.com. We will answer your questions on the podcast channel. We want to be a resource for you. And then follow us on Instagram at Kickstart Accounting. Lots of amazing reels and information for you to be able to continue to implement in your business. We will continue to provide those strategies for you. And if you need a specific strategy, don't forget to send us a DM, Kickstart Accounting. Thank you everyone for being here today. Just in case you are driving, that 20% off code is webinar 20. That does expire on Friday. So don't miss out on this opportunity to jump into money, mindset, and mastery. We wanted to launch this to clients only first. So this is only available to clients today before it gets released to the public. Thank you so much for being here today. And I hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon.